The things that I've done that haven't worked have been more predicated on me thinking I could run multiple businesses at a time. You just beat me to the punchline. What I'm scared about is everybody's driving right now, everybody's in the office right now, everybody's sitting at home right now, and I was listening as you were prepping me to come in here, and I'm like, okay, I see how Elvis is setting this up, but I hope that everybody understands that the next thing I'm gonna say is you have to work until your eyes are bleeding. For all I live on practicality, and this is what's practical. Elvis, everybody who's listening now who has college loans, mortgages, kids in school, they have to work their 9 to 7. Me coming here in 1974 and saying, quit your job, follow your dream, was not practical. In 2017 it is. Let me explain. When you're done with your 9 to 6, you come home. If you choose to build something online from 7 to midnight because you want a happier, better life or scratch an itch or you're entrepreneurial, you can do that with $0 and you can actually do it. And that is a game changer. Our grandparents did not have this. And so we can be practical, and when we get home, you can play Call of Duty, you can watch NFL every night, it feels like every day, you can turn on Netflix and watch The Crown. You can do that because you're doing what you want to do and you're in a good spot. But what I'm trying to do this morning is eliminate complainers. If you're complaining,
your own toxic habits hold you back from truly being happy. And the first thing you have to do to rid yourself of them is to put in the work. Even if you have a 9-to-5 job to support yourself or your family, there is no reason in today's age that you can't work 7 to midnight to build something you love. Many people are complainers who say they don't have the time or money to chase a dream. Don't fall into that trap and go the extra mile to make something happen. Use your emotional intelligence to better understand people and use that knowledge to make a difference in your own life. Although hard work is the first step, it isn't everything. Be self-aware and know what talents you bring to the table. The idea that you can be anything you want is false. But what you can be is the best version of yourself. You may see judgment along the way, but you have to be able to handle that judgment. Whether it's a random internet stranger or your mother, you cannot live your life based on what other people think of you. You're only as good as your last at bat, and if other people can make it, so can you. Figure out a way to get started on being a more positive, successful person, but don't make that focus based on money. To find your true happiness, you have to get set in good ways and start doing something that you love.
Forget about the context of that word. I think it was around the time I turned 30 that I understood that understanding people and consumer behavior was something that I had, and that there was a way to deploy it against something besides selling more wine, right? And so I'm not comfortable with the word genius, Steph, but this singular thing that I think will allow me to create a lot of success in my life is predicated on emotional intelligence, and I started to understand it a little bit more in my early 30s. This thought that if you just try hard enough, or you work hard enough, or you read enough books or what have you, that you can become this thing that you weren't naturally gifted with is wrong. What you can be is the best version of yourself in something. No matter how much I worked on cooking, I would not be as good as Eric in the front row. It just wouldn't be. It's what he's great at, it's what he was gifted at, and it's the work he put in. And so I think the biggest thing, the reason self-awareness is one of the main things on the book, we have to start understanding what we're good at and putting our energy against that, because that's where you can start having an impact. Whether that is a great fundraiser for NGOs, a stay-at-home dad, a radio person, it doesn't matter what it is, but we have gone way too far in the American dream of entrepreneurship, and everybody's gonna build $1 million business. The reality is it's super simple. If for some way, through a joke or an analogy or a conversation here today or an answer to a question, I can get you to start the process of genuinely being able to handle judgment because you finally are exhausted of living your life based on other people's opinions, including Stranger Pants 96 and your mom. Those two extremes. For the ones that do, you know. My example is the anonymous comment from Sally Pants 49 or Rick Face or Jumpman 36. So it's the two extremes. It's you don't do things because somebody says you're ugly or you're stupid in a comment and you have no idea who they are and they're hiding between an avatar and some bullshit name over here, all the way to your mom. That's what I spend all my time on. From this person to that person, why is that dictating you? This one makes a lot of sense to me. Ironically, that one makes a lot of sense to me. You all went through high school. You all lived life, and we still do it at scale. No matter what, whether it was handed to you, you're only as good as your last at bat. You know what I mean? Like you're at the top one day and then you're not, right? Like you're the biggest comedian in the world and then you have 3 movies that blow and nobody gives a shit anymore. Like you're only as good as your last, like I guess this is what I'm pushing for. You do you. I'm not judging. Who the hell am I to judge? Here's what I'm saying. You get one life. You've got real, like this is America. And by the way, I'm not naive to like females, race, things like that. It's harder, but if there's anybody on earth that looks like you that's made it, the practicality of making $5,000 to $50,000 more by understanding what Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube do, that's real. That's right. For 10,000 people that are listening right now. To make 10 million, to make 50 million, I'm trying to buy the New York Jets before we get it too twisted. Well, if you're complaining, if you're unhappy, if you're good, work-life balance, leisure, playing games, going to every movie, every Friday night, the new movie, good. I'm so happy because listen, I got friends that make 10 million a year. They're miserable as
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content.